Greetings, Traveler and Paimon.
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Let's discuss. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about this. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all there was to. But the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot about everything else. Even his own impending. Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Either way, if this part of the story is true...
You really think so? But this story is all the way from... Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady look. Ooh, like a crystal fly's wings? That would be... Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the shore. Once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away without a sound.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person...
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining things.
Well, what if this adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? She was probably thinking something like... One was merely passing by and saw...
That was actually a very good impression of Cloud Retainer, Paimon. As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer isn't the... If we set off, you'll be able to confirm either way. I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just not as familiar with...
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with Cloud Retainer by now, so we probably...
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival. Just, Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak. Traveler? Paimon?
Seems like this is a tough decision for... Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Wait, did she leave already?
I can't believe it.
Uh-huh? Did we miss her?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepta. True. Now that I think about it, since she's not here, I guess the next step is...
Uh-oh. Well, got it! Paimon...
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus to help Dvorak. We can't hear any music right now, but if she's...
Yes, I think that's fair.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water. You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim. Paimon would sink like a rock. Just trust Paimon. The water's pretty deep over there.
What is going on?
How do you feel right now?
Shenhe!
Why don't you say something? Okay, fine. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a...
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know.
Okay. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how...
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not...
As ever, the conqueror of demons.
Right. How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for Lantern Rite?
Oh, I had planned to spend the festival.
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer...
Earlier this morning, she set off for Mount Hu. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind.
So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the...
Sure. Thank you.
It sounds like Ganyu...
Yes. During the summer and winter, Ganyu arranged accommodations for me, but when I try to blend in by referring... Sometimes I'm supposed to call... Oh, is that... So, you came looking for Master...
Yep. Oh, speaking of that...
Music?
It's...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us. We will...
Yay!
We were just talking about this thing called music, and based on
Oh, really?
Worthless!
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear it!
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of...
Oh! Okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault. What were...
Oh. And a melody is...
Hey! Don't you patronize Paimon! Let's go... Hey! Why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand...
Oh, was that from the opera that Yunjin's...
That was a melody, and melodies can be called music.
It felt like I was transported back to the... We're all there. As I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warmth when you hummed that melody just now.
Wow, Shenhe. Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all the... What about you, Ganyu? Are there...
I don't remember if my parents ever sang any lullabies to me. I know some local folk songs. The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front... Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nenny and Leo probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic expression and their sentiments. So, at least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize the way those melodies make me feel isn't all that different from other people, even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell. In that sense...
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress. You have loads of friends in Liyue Harbor when you think of...
Yes. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples.
Thank you,
Once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my home in the city. Please, I've planted many types of flowers. I'm sure some of them will be to your...
You are too kind. I couldn't possibly.
Nonsense. You are my friend. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in advance. Wait, what is that?
Do people say that?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out.
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that of—
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she, even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. One has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus, well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory—
If you want to release a Shao Lantern, come and find—
Thank you, everyone.
Is this Quaily Plains? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats around the largest stone Sea Gazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart, though usually a mild-mannered fellow.
Paimon remembers that name.
He was an old friend and a former rival. One has many memories. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How, pray tell—
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastics. On some occasion—
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever— She always sought to make everyone happy. And one must say, she had. It also helped that she never referred to one as.
Come on,
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the ape, who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever enjoying a drink from a square cup? Then you are most tolerant. But that is, even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinance. We would drink together from a spot high in the mountains. Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to—
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as—
Oh, okay. Wait, are you saying that—
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning. No matter, one—
In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's Obscuro Vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetwood Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetwood Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished socializing.
What? You have loads of friends!
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond. But in the end, one is nothing like Streetwood Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful. Not to mention, back when they were rivals, they would often compete against. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works. Having the ability—
Wait! That's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she passed? And she also said something about being a vain beauty when she was—
Streetward Rambler, a vain beauty. My foot. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, as for her old friend, who else? As soon as Streetward Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell, she realized that the man was none other than Rex Lapis, and that he had made an enormous decision. After all, we all have known each other for several millennia. Some things between us are implicitly understood.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art, and can be used to great effect as an accompaniment. But Streetward Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing further funerary tunes. No. Each time she rang it, it was to play the tune that Gui Zhang composed on it. The two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Who would have thought that with Gui Zhang's passing... Once upon a time, Streetward Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Gui Zhang passed, the music would go from mournful to soothing to impassioned. Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to her satisfaction. In celebration, she played the tune to the clouds. Regrettably, one has only ever heard her play that tune once. Which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps it was during that performance that the ancestor of your Fontaine friend fell into the water and was saved by Streetward Rambler.
But if she was so happy with the melody, what?
One was also greatly perplexed by this. After suppressing one's curiosity for a long while, one finally approached her and asked why she would retire the tune after having spent so long on it. In response, though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired it is gone.
Aw, poor Madame P.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once the Archon War came to an end, although I met Gui Zhang a few times, I never knew anything of this particular...
Gui Zhang was quite the visionary, but tragically passed before her time. Her manuscripts still lie on... Had you not decided to search for that mystery Adeptus, perhaps the... As of now, you know the truth. That the Adeptus who rescued the drowning man was none other than Streetward Rambler. Do you intend to discuss this with her?
Do you mean Ping might find the topic too distressing?
Precisely. The passing of our old friend is a heavy topic that...
If I may be so bold, Cloud Retainer...
Oh? How so?
I've been in Leo Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many farewells along the way. But this doesn't bring the city or its people to it. Someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will surely have come to understand, and though these immortal mountains have lost an Adeptus, no loss can ever be undone. But there is always much that can still be gained. Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come. And all to whom she extends a helping hand become her friends, though it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit.
We even asked Madame Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this year's Lantern Rite. Oh, when we get back, why don't we just ask...
You youngsters and your imaginations.
Why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last...
Is not every Lantern Rite the same in this regard?
I disagree. Each new day and each new...
The edibles she brought... Very well, then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the heart... Once the Guili assembly... Say, if we planted flowers there...
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior.
What? Cloud Retainer?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you. This...
Ping, and
It appears you made haste after all.
Oh, bless my...
Miss Illuminated Bird. Haven't you said anything?
Said what, precisely? And
Cuz you're the one who's known Madam Ping the longest.
street word. Or rather, presumably, you would prefer to be addressed as Ping?
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Given that Lantern Rite is almost upon us, the weather... Ganyu, please continue from here.
All right. So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Dvorak. Cloud Retainer informed us that the one...
Let me think. What a long time ago that was. Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this... It appears that
Who's...
we like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eyes,
Albeit...
After all, Lantern Rite's very purpose is to although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today.
So, how had...
Once upon a time, she said to me that humans were but as she interacted more and more with them, she marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits. She told us that to underestimate with the smallest amount of guidance, and a human who has reached their full potential may well be her equal.
She always had a way with words, that her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior to one's own.
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer,
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift. It would be no...
as Guizhong once said, it takes every blade of grass. And when I see the sight of Liyue Harbor before us today...
Madam Ping looks very emotional right now.
Of all of us, it was Guizhong who was the fond... If she were still with us, I'm quite sure...
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year. If she were here...
Oh, yeah! Music! We've been dying to ask. What was the melody that you played back then? Oh, also, with you being such a music expert...
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't wish to dampen you, it's been a long time since I played, and whenever I play that tune, there was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was, no matter how much time goes by, the moment that...
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Oh, I would be lying to my... But that is not to say that grief doesn't get eaten. Despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy. Just look at this potted plant.
It takes an honest and open mind to confront and...
Be that as it may, I shall leave the Lantern Rites.
Well, if you're sure...
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here? Did something
And now we've spooked Yanfei.
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad! Well, in that case, happy Lantern
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I just remembered. I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands.
Huh? Does it have to be right now?
It seems Ganyu still...
What a pity. She has learned nothing of what...
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you stay?
Gladly. This was one's intent...
When you next see the Fontaine musician, please give him my regard.
You got it!
Thank you all. As for that melody...
Wow, that'd be...
When that time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of...
Alright, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news. Ping's here too!
Welcome back.
Really, really well. We found the person Mr. Dvorak was looking for.
Are you serious? I see. So the melody, that certainly explains why it was such a...
That's a really interesting first reaction.
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe.
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. Not but Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know her.
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom. Whatever.
Yep, Ka-Ting summed it up perfectly.
I think... yes. That can wait until after the concert, though.
Speaking of, Madam Ping wishes Paimon has a sneaking suspicion.
Wait. Oh no, now I'm starting to get nervous. Okay. Nope, another rehearsal's in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Paimon wasn't even finished telling him everything. Before we set off on our search with Gon...
Please, share your insights with me.
It can make people happy. And music is like a kind of memory written in people's hearts.
It sounds like you had an eventful trip.
Wait, does that mean you're gonna...
Just a few things to... As long as everyone enjoys the festival activities, happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
That ship... Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. Shoot! Latent... Wait, no. Zhongli said he wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, even if we don't make it, it's... Anyway...
Oh! Alright, let's take a break.
Oh wow, look who it is!
So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills at the entrance?
After everything we've been through, we have all this open space, a clear view of the mountains behind and the sea.
Invisible...
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get used to Director Who's way of talking.
Xinyan was pretty spooked.
Come on, knock it off.
What's wrong? I've never seen someone... There once was a... With my words, Xinyan's chorus and Yunjina's will take the stage by storm with flick...
For sure! The whole dance floor will be yelling on!
Oh, don't you worry about that. I'm pretty experienced on the stage, and I've already informed the Yuhong of all...
Guess we'll just have to...
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and...
It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this. As well as...
Yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, to tell the truth, though, I never thought I...
Well, now you know. The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is a great...
I can speak to that.
And jump scares.
Actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric ideas.
Sure.
Oh, Traveler and Paimon, I believe... When you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. It's up to him whether he wants... You should join us too. It'll be a riot. If there's one thing I've learned from...
a familiar face.
Everything's great, but if you're so cute.
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng in recent times.
Zhongli, here you are. We've brought the bamboo shoots.
Impeccable. Traditionally, bamboo shoot soup ought to be slow cooked for many hours on low heat.
Wait, that mechanism.
Indeed. Cloud Retainer kindly lent me.
Can we not just call it a cooking machine? She seems to take a lot of pride in her mechanical gizmos, so it's probably.
I trust that you found the answers you were seeking during. Excellent. The past should be remembered, but not overly dwelt upon. When the bamboo shoot soup is ready,
Oh, Zhongli! Huta told us to tell you something. She said it's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight. When she says performance, as for the banquet, she didn't tell us.
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. As for the banquet, since the director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay! Then we'll see you there?
Absolutely.
Rex Lapis, the bamboo shoot soup is ready.
Thank you. I will examine it right away. The appearance is exquisite, and the aroma rich and intense. Since you came all this way, you should not leave empty-handed. Please, take some soup. It...
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hintao, and this is a little something called...
The Blaze Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you too buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh, I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. I'll spit my rhymes, watch your step, or you'll get burned. Hey, woo!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own. My treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Xiao Lanterns,
Ha! Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Xiao Lantern the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.